Perfect. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, now I can hear you. Got it.
All right, everybody. So excited about this short interview. It's going to be an 18-minute interview, just like the format that TED Talks have. Just because I read it on an article, it helps you retain more information. It doesn't bore you that much. And hopefully, I know I have a great invitee here. And I know he's gonna bring a lot of value to every listener. And I hope to be able to bring more value as we do more of these interviews. So let me introduce briefly Justin Padron, my brother, um, Justin Padron, and I met him online. I haven't met you in person yet. You
That's
know,
pretty crazy.
hell yeah, that's the power of internet and the things that we're doing right now. I know that there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this and they have never met me and somehow found me on the internet. Same thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. I met you because we were in the same class, accounting. If I'm not, what was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Accounting,
We were in
right?
accounting.
So I think I posted on the introduction forum that I was starting my entrepreneurship stuff with a credit repair back then, or one of the many things I tried out. And you reached out and said, "Hey, Adolfo, you know, you're kind of doing the same thing as I am, uh, but you were doing something different than what we're going to talk about right now."
Right.
Um, so I'm pretty excited. Just with that being said, how I met you, and the great things that we're doing and you're sharing with me a lot of knowledge, being a coach for me in business and even in life. Some great examples. You're 1 year older than me, and I just find that inspiring. All the things you're doing right now. Um, so the agenda for this 18-minute interview talk, you guys can name it differently. I just want to hear from you and to introduce what you got to share with the listeners, with the viewers, and then from that, just share your story. And we're gonna pull out questions as we go, very informal, very conversational, just as if we were talking in person. All right, so I'll give you the mic.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. So, like you said, my name is Justin Padron, and I'm the creator of Crusher Coaching, the passionate coach's guide to business and marketing. I teach online coaches business and marketing strategies that are evergreen so that they can build their business. Now, these strategies that I actually teach people, it's not specifically just for coaches, but that's the market that I really resonate with, and that's who I share it with. But these business and marketing strategies really can work for any business. So, really, I'm here to teach people the business and marketing strategies that I've learned throughout my process of building, multiple businesses in my past. So really
That's
excited
exactly
to
what you're
share with
doing
you
with me.
guys. Exactly. So really excited to share with you guys all this knowledge that I can possibly share with you in this interview.
Awesome, perfect. So let's talk a little bit about your background, where you're from. Whatever you think is noteworthy for people
Mhm.
to say, "Okay, I want to work with that guy."
Right.
And thanks, Adolfo, for bringing him on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm from a Hispanic background, just like Adolfo. We both live in Miami, and I was raised in a Hispanic household where we first learned Spanish and jumped into school, and I had to learn English, which at that point, of course, didn't know any English. But by now, it's been,
But
10,
you were born
15,
here, right? Born and
born
raised.
here, but first language is Spanish.
Gotcha.
So, but started with Spanish, moved my way and once jumped into school, I had to start learning English. So I went through, learned English, all of a sudden started forgetting Spanish and gone through and really, I grew up in this house of very middle class household and kind of upper middle class. Like my parents together, their combined income actually at the highest point was around $200,000. So they were making really good money. We had a house in Miami and we had a house in Orlando. So every month we'd be in Disney World, enjoying life and going to Disney World, and everyone thought we had it made. Like I would talk to my friends and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you have such a great life." Like I haven't been to Disney World in like 5 years, and I'm like, really? I was there last weekend, which it's coming from this selfish point of view where it's like I didn't really know that there was something different. But then as time goes by, things kind of start moving and shaking up a little bit. And when I jumped into middle school, my parents got divorced, so I all of a sudden new school, new friends, new house because I moved in with my mom, and I still kind of like bounce back between mom and dad, but I was seeing this new life that I wasn't used to. And my mom lost her job shortly after getting divorced. And, at this point, I'm like 11 or 12. And I'm like, well, mom doesn't have any money. I got to figure out a way to make money so that we can like really go ahead. And shortly after that, my mom got introduced to network marketing. And that's like my first like business thing that I heard of. Oh, network marketing. And then I was like, oh, okay, like let me sign up. And I'm like, no, no, no. They're like, no, no, you're 12. You can't sign up. I'm like, oh, okay. So my mom started doing network marketing, and it was one of those like weight loss companies, and she was teaching people how to lose weight and stuff. And she was actually getting in shape herself, as when she was married, you kind of start like letting go of the weight, and you start,
Definitely.
getting stuff like that. So
I'm comfortable. I'm married now.
right, exactly. So things happen, lose weight, try building up businesses, doesn't work, does work, and then when I reached about 16 years old, the only business I knew was network marketing. So I jumped into network marketing, and I started building up my businesses using social media. And, you know,
Mm,
I was building my first network marketing business using social media. So I would learn how to use the platforms. My main one that I was learning was Instagram. So I would build up Instagram, build up my personal brand on Instagram, and promote what I was doing throughout that process, and showing them how, this is the products that I use. And I was losing weight. And when I was doing this in the weight loss industry, like, you have to use the product, you have to love the product, or else it doesn't really work.
yeah,
And in the span of like a month or two, I lost like 20 pounds, and I was probably in the best shape that I've ever been in.
that's
So,
great.
now I'm jumping back in, and I have to like, lose weight and stuff. So I'm using those strategies that I learned back then to lose weight,
Uh,
because it's the same principles.
yeah,
And in health, it's like, of course, there's a bunch of different methods, but it's eat healthy and exercise if you
the
can.
principles. Personally, I believe like every area of your life has a formula. You
Right,
just gotta follow it. We're trying always to reinvent the wheel. What do I gotta do?
right,
What's the formula? What's the
exactly.
secret?
Right, and a lot of people, they're looking for the quick fix. It's like, if in health and stuff, you're like, oh, I just got to rub this cream on my belly, and then I got to heat it up, and then it's just going to melt the fat. It's like, maybe, but not exactly. Like, it's probably going to help you like burn some calories, because it's like heating you up, and it's like you're in a sauna. But if you jump out of a sauna and then go to McDonald's, you're not losing any weight you
Right.
know so it's like, and the same thing in business. It's like, there's certain principles that you have to go through, and really just follow that path. Like, people have already gone through the path, just model the path that they've gone through. But
Gotcha.
to go back into what I was saying about Instagram, I
Yeah.
started building up my Instagram pages for my personal, and they got to some point that I wasn't really like, I was building up these pages, and I was learning like a lot about it, and I started getting into different areas that I was interested in. And I was introduced to the area of environmental protection, and people that are in the health space. I started hearing about veganism, and people that are
Okay.
vegetarian and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Me personally, not vegan, but I do understand it, and I my sister is vegan, so like I've lived with it. So it's went into that space, and I started building an Instagram page about protecting the environment and stuff like that. Like, I started going to charity events for cleaning the ocean and stuff like that. So I jumped into the world of the environmental protection, which I love it. It's pretty cool actually. And I started building up
So just
Instagram
to
pages.
stop you
Yeah,
there, just to understand, you were building out these Instagram pages niche down in certain areas like veganism.
right.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
So I started to build niche Instagram pages, but in industries that I cared about. Like, for
Gotcha.
example, I wasn't gonna build an Instagram page on something that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, when you're building an Instagram page about veganism or environmental protection, you start learning about it too.
Right.
So over time, I started learning about it. I started going to charity events. I started cleaning the beach. I started becoming more aware of this problem that the world has, encountered. Because a lot of the stuff, of course, people have different point of views, but a lot of the stuff, at least if you just, change a few habits and you actually cared, you can, one, help the environment, but also help yourself.
Right.
So I
Absolutely.
started building up these pages, and I had a few pages that I was building up, and I really wanted to start a business, and like a
Hmm.
real business, because at that point, I was building up Instagram pages, I was selling shout outs and stuff, but it wasn't like too much good money, but I knew how to build pages fast. So like, oh, let me start teaching people how to do this. And it didn't really come up me saying, hey, let me start teaching people how to do this. More like someone came to me and said, hey, I saw that you have a few pages. Can you like share with me how you're building up your page? So that's how I started helping people. And I was doing it for free at first because I didn't know I can get paid for it. You know, like kind of you start a business, you're like, oh yeah, sure, I know how to build Instagram pages. I'll help you. And I started working with a few people. And one point I got onto a call with someone that was interested. Of course, I was telling people, hey, I do this. If you're interested, let me know. And I got on a call with this lady, and we started talking. And she was telling me about her business. She had a health business. She was a health coach, and she was like, "Oh, I really want to help people lose weight and live their ideal life through improving their health habits. I don't really know how to promote myself." And I was like, "Oh, I can help you with Instagram, like building up your Instagram page." She goes, "Okay, cool. How much would you charge me?" When she said that, I was like, how much would I charge you? Like it just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, I can get paid from this. And at that point I was like, I have no idea. But I'm like, well, I need to eat some food, and I want to spend money on this and that. I'm like, $200 a month. And I was like, she's like, okay. And I was like, oh, what? Are you serious? And I'm like, that's like what I'm thinking. I didn't say that, but I was like, all right. So I went, and she paid me $200, and we worked for a month together, and we were working each month, and she was paying me $200. And then I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And I started learning other things. And as I was teaching her, I was also learning more things about the coaching business. So I started to like develop a system that anyone, but specifically coaches, can follow to build their business, which included Instagram, but also a bunch of other stuff.
Gotcha. So that
And
was
that,
your first experience as a coach.
right, that was my
Can
first
some,
experience as a
all
coach.
right. So before we keep going, kind of explain to the audience what's coaching besides PE teachers and all that
Right.
stuff that we know
Okay.
of.
So like I said, with coaching, there's a variety of different coaches, but there's really three main markets that people talk into, which is health, wealth, and relationships. And sometimes people tie in a fourth one, which is happiness. But I tend to think that happiness also fills into that health space, because happiness is in your mind and it's mental, which is mental health. So
Gotcha.
health, wealth, and relationships, and those three markets, a lot of people have a story and really a expertise, even if they don't know it, in one of those markets.
Mm.
And what happens is, for example, for financial advisors, a they have knowledge in the wealth space because they
Yeah.
know about money. So it's like, okay, if you're a financial advisor and you want to build your business, then you're like, okay, well, first we'll break it down. I'm in the wealth space. Okay, now we break it down into a niche, which your niche or your industry is like, okay, what specifically do I do in the financial advising space? So I help, you know, X people, I help families, or I help teenagers, or I help, people that are just getting out of college,
Mhm.
with their finances. Of course, I'm a financial advisor is going to know this a lot more than me. I'm
Yeah,
just kind of
no.
like pulling stuff out of my brain here, but it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you got your niche. Yeah, I mean, you got your market, which is wealth. You got your niche, which is the financial advisor space, the financial advising. You got your sub niche, which is who specifically do you teach, and then you go, if you can, you go one layer deeper, which is into your blue ocean, which is something that maybe you've heard of. They talk about a little bit
Absolutely.
in ClickFunnels, which your blue ocean is like going one step deeper instead of just going market, niche, sub niche. Exactly.
Yeah.
All in all
This
three
guys,
books, it's
everyone
really
watching, read this book, the
right.
trilogy. Thanks to
Right.
you, brother.
.com, Expert Secrets, and Traffic Secrets. Those are amazing books. Like I'm actually reading Traffic Secrets right now again, and I have a bunch of copies actually because I bought a bunch of them when they first came out. And I've been giving it to a few of my friends and stuff. But because it's an amazing book, and so I've gone through, and really, so you got your market, you got your niche, you got your
Mhm.
sub niche, and then you go one layer deeper into your blue ocean, which is more in your specific strategy on how you help people, and then you find people by marketing that are interested in improving their wealth, which is the first piece, your market. Two is the niche, by finding a financial advisor, so someone who is interested in improving their health through a financial advisor.
Their
And
wealth,
then right,
their money. Hmm.
their wealth. Someone who is interested in improving their wealth from a financial advisor who is their specific area of expertise is,
Whether that's accounting or
right,
taxes for the
exactly,
listeners. Perfect.
and then how they do it, which is through that. So that's
Yes.
kind of how you first you have to get clear on that, like what exactly do you do? Because if you're just like, hey, I'm a financial advisor and I do financial advising for people, people don't really like know exactly and they want to connect with you. So
Yeah.
that's why you have to get a little bit deeper into who you help, how you help them, and why you also help them, why you in it.
Yeah, something that I found that helps a lot with is to give people clarity how you can help them, because
Right.
I've noticed, well, I tell them, okay guys, I can help you with getting lead generation for your financial aid industry,
Right.
whether you're an accountant or financial planner. And well, I help you getting lead generation through via what, like, I tell them that's paid ads and
Hmm.
other organic outreach, the
Right.
strategies that we use. And so that gets them thinking, okay, how can Adolfo get me those leads through, sending out messages or running ads on Facebook and Instagram, because
Hmm.
they didn't think about it before until they heard it out of my mouth.
Right. Yeah. And
So
then there's
tying, go
right.
ahead.
No, yeah, I was gonna say is like some people that like, oh, they didn't think about it, and also there's other people that they've heard about it before, but then they still don't know how it specifically works for them, and that's why they're like, hey, Adolfo, can you explain this to me? And then that's when someone jumps in and they're like, you know what, I really love what you're doing, and then they start working with you.
Absolutely. And so this is the same thing. What you just mentioned, the three markets and getting the niching down. You shared that with me when I was starting on this thing, and you kind of gave me direction. So do you think this applies to anything and everyone?
So when it comes to business, as in
Yeah,
starting your own business, these are like the three main markets that anyone can go into to really start their business. So that applies to anyone that has their own business or wants to have their own business.
gotcha.
And it's kind of funny because some people they want to start a business but they don't know what type of business that they want to start.
Right. So
And
if you would have known all of this when you started doing those Instagram accounts, do you think you'll be farther down, or do you think it wouldn't
if
have
I
mattered?
would have known all of this information when I first started, like if I can go back in time to when I first started and I knew all of this, 100% I'd be farther. But also, it's remembering that it's not about going back in time and getting things going from back then. It's about what information do I know now that I can apply that I might have known for months or even years that I haven't applied because there's a fear that's holding you back or
Yeah.
just you don't have time or whatever. It's like when it comes to that, it's like all you gotta do is really be like, okay, why do I need this? What is my why? And then take action, because if your why is strong enough, you're going to take action and you're going to make things happen because you know that you need to make things happen.
Awesome. Now let's tie it all back to your story. So you started your first uh, counseling, your coaching
Mhm.
session for $200. How
Right.
did it go from there?
So it was $200 for a month, and in
Okay.
that month we talked. I believe it was 8 times, so that would have been like $25 a call, I believe. Yeah, it's $25 a call.
Okay.
And in those calls, we would end up talking for like 2 hours. So really, I was making like $10 an hour almost, which at that point I was really excited about.
Yeah.
And which is it's great because when you're first
Absolutely.
starting out, you're like worried, and also like the calls were getting super long because I was just like, I didn't really know how to control the call. And over time, you kind of start building things up and you start learning. My second client was actually like a big jump. I went from making $25 a call to $125 a call.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
Like it was like 5 times the amount, basically. So from there, it's like okay, and then and then from there it jumped again to nearly like $200 a call.
Same thing. Talking to people how to improve their Instagram accounts for
Right.
business.
So that's how it started. But then as I started knowing the coaching business and becoming a coach myself,
Hmm.
people wanted different information. They didn't want just Instagram information. They wanted
Hmm.
to know a little bit more about business structure and building out their coaching business specifically instead of general Instagram. So I had to invest in
Mm,
myself, learn more about it, build up my own business, and then take that information that I've learned and that I've applied into my business and teach it to other people.
Gotcha. So just to clarify, you went from an Instagram coach to a business coach.
Right. Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right. So
And
Instagram coach to business coach, and niching down and finding my blue ocean in business coaching for online coaches who want to make an impact in the world, but also
gotcha.
make an income.
Gotcha. I think I think everyone wants to achieve that fulfillment of saying, crap, whatever I'm doing, I'm impacting that other person. They're
Right.
very grateful for what I do, but most of the time we have these personal limiting beliefs, just like uh, just hopping on the camera sometimes
Right.
and saying, well, what do I know that I can teach? You know, what do you say to those people?
Mm.
Well, you know,
So when you have limiting beliefs, it's an interesting topic because sometimes it's because of an experience that you had before, or maybe it's just you just haven't done it before, so you're nervous about getting started. And the biggest thing for a lot of people is getting on camera.
yeah,
For when you're starting a business, you have to jump on camera and you got to talk. You don't have to, but it's going to help your business grow. So if you're going to start a YouTube channel or something, you're like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't want to be the one talking. It's like, how do I get started? And I'm actually in the process of starting my own YouTube channel.
okay,
And my process of this is, okay, if I don't want to get on camera, one is start getting on camera with people, having conversations like on Zoom, do interviews and stuff like this, but also turning on the camera, talking, and then just watching the video after. And of course, it's a little like at the first time, but then you kind of start learning. Oh, this is different. I can move this. I can change this, and you don't have to post those videos. You can delete them after, but at least you start getting that experience. So one thing that I learned from one of my coaches was 30 videos in 30 days. Turn on the camera and talk for 30 days, just at the camera, pick any topic, for 2 to 5 minutes, and just talk. At the end of the video, delete it or save it. And then on day 30, look back at day one. It's like, oh my gosh, I have grown so much just because I committed to one video a day. It
this
doesn't
is
have to
where
be published.
everyone that's watching this is start write it down.
Right. Yeah, because it's mainly based on consistency. And if you're one of those people that are worried about getting started, like it's horrible to just tell you just get started. But the truth is you're not gonna really get things moving until you get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're reaching the limit, uh, but we're gonna go for a few more minutes. I just want you to talk a little bit about the last few months. Have you taken your business with everything that's going on in the world, elections, and the last 8 months, and so on?
All this stuff. So right now, depending on when you're watching, we might still be in it or not. But we got elections going on and all that stuff. But also we got the coronavirus that has hit, the whole world. So a lot of people started the coronavirus and there was people losing their jobs, and there was people that were like, very worried about their jobs or their income or where things are going to go. It's very like unsettling times because you're here like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford my bills next month. And the crazy thing is that throughout this whole entire time, my business has just like grown like crazy compared to before. And everyone, there's people losing their jobs and saying that there's no money out there.
Right.
And it's really not true. The problem is that people, they spend money in two ways: to move towards pleasure or away from pain.
Mm-hmm.
So for you and your specific business or the people that are watching, is your product something that pushes people towards pleasure or pushes people away from pain? And in a lot of spaces, it's actually both. It just depends on how you position it. So during, when the economy is doing well, people are promoting their products as things that will push them towards pleasure
Mm-hmm.
and like, hey, let's make your life even better. But during
Yeah.
this time, things are going downhill and it's like, okay, you don't want to hit pain, so now you start positioning your product in a different way, same product, same service, but now we're putting it like, hey, let's move you away from pain. Like instead of saying, hey, let's go make $1 million, people don't really like, people want to make $1 million, but right now people just want to not go broke or bankrupt. So
Absolutely.
let's not tell people about $1 million because they might be scared, and that's like a whole different world to them.
Yeah.
To them, all they need is, hey, let's start managing our money right. Let's see how much we can stretch it, or how we can make some extra money or really improve it, and move away from that pain that we might encounter if we keep doing what we're doing.
Gotcha.
And then once we have mastered that, then we can pull them and push them towards pleasure.
Perfect. So specifically, what's been your business like? Have you had more clients? Have you?
So right now, I've actually I was doing one-on-one coaching for a while,
Let me
and
remind everyone, you're 21. You're
yes,
about to
21.
drop some gems of
So
what you've done in the last 6 to 7 months.
so
Go
in
ahead.
so in the past 6 months or so, with this whole coronavirus that's going on, um, I have realized that, basically what I just told you about, towards pleasure, away from pain,
Yeah.
and what do people really want. And at the beginning, I kind of was scared, just like a lot of people. But
Yeah.
then you kind of get to a point where you're like, wait, either this isn't going away, or if I don't do something, I'm going to be pulled into that.
Hmm.
So I need to go and take action, make a plan, and start going at it. So I decided, you know what, that's enough is enough. I'm going to go, basically from going to $200 clients a month. I'm getting that basically just on one call, jumping on with someone, but also selling packages that are 1,000, 1,500, and even some packages that I have that are up to like $2,500 a month to work with clients. And my clients are happy to pay me because of the result that they get. Like, for example, one of my original first clients, she was paying me somewhere around $1,000 a month.
Hmm.
And she created a coaching program that she did not have before. And before, she was charging people like $25 an hour. And now she's selling coaching programs that are 25 to $3,500 a month, and she's working with two, three, four clients.
That's a whole month's income for most
Right.
families.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just about positioning your coaching correctly and going to the same market. Of course, if you're selling a $2,500 coaching program, you need to be selling it to someone that can afford it.
Yeah.
So hers is health coaching, but she's focusing on, health coaching for high level executives that are making 150 to $300,000 a year, so they can afford that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's wonderful. That's crazy. I think that's we're gonna leave it at this. I certainly want you back on another call and start dropping these gems. We're gonna share this in the Facebook group. If you have a chance, and you want to share it to your audience, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
gonna put it almost in every platform that I can, because I know
Okay.
it's a long form video. So I'm gonna try that out. And I just want to say thank you, brother. You've been helping me since I started with this agency and some other things that I had when I met you, and just giving me guidance for nothing in return, really. And just hopefully, some people hear your message. They hopefully become your clients at some point. I highly recommend you, and just keep grinding. Keep
Yeah.
going, doing those challenges that you're doing on Instagram.
Yeah.
So before we go, I just want you to share with people where they can find you.
So right now, my biggest platform that I'm pushing is actually my Facebook group, where I'm teaching coaches how to build those business and marketing strategies for their business. So if you
From
go to
Instagram to Facebook.
Right. So if you can find me on Instagram, which is at Justin Padron. But if you have Facebook and you want to join my group, it's called Crusher Coaching. So you can go on Facebook and search Crusher Coaching, or you can go to crushercoaching.com/group, and there you'll get linked directly to it, and you can join the Facebook group like that. So right now, I'm very close to launching my group coaching program, which is going to be a group coaching program where I'm going to have, a few students I'm going to be working with, and I'm going to be helping them with anything that they're going through. There's also going to be a course that they can go through and learn stuff. And also, 4 times a month, we're going to be jumping on to group coaching calls, and we're going to have Q&A calls, and really helping you with the details of building out your coaching business. And of course, if you're not a coach, check it out and just see what you like, and you don't have to join it. But I invite everyone here to go and check out the Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group, crushercoaching.com/group.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's wonderful. And just to give a last word, I recommend you for two reasons. The simple reason that you've helped me without nothing, expecting, without any expectations in return. And two, because you actually uh, put in the work on what you preach, and that goes to say with coaching. I know you paid a lot of money for coaching to learn all the skills and things that you just shared. So, you know, when talking to people, we're always scanning the other person at whatever they're pitching at us, and we say, well, are these guys, actually doing what they're telling me? And we never do that in school when we go to a teacher. And like a lot of people that I met in marketing, they say, well, I got this degree in marketing, but my teacher never actually had a business or
Right.
something of their own. They went through the 4 8 years, got a PhD or whatever, but didn't start their own thing. And
Right.
that's totally fine. But I'm just really grateful for sharing your time with us. And that's all from me.
Well, it's great to
Hopefully
be
they
on
like it
here.
a lot.
It's great to be on here, and I look forward to being on here again and helping out your audience.
All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Talk to you
Well,
later. Okay.
talk to you soon.